Well, guys, this is probably the phone I've been looking forward to most this year. I haven't reviewed it yet, and I consider it the most interesting flagship of the year. Even more interesting than the Vivo X300 Ultra, and definitely more than the Galaxy S26 Ultra, iPhone, or Pixel. This is the Oppo Find X9 Ultra, and thanks to TechDias for making this flagship available for my review today. TechnoDias is a shop that sells a lot of phones at great prices, and the promo code will be in the description. With this promo code, you can get a discount in the store. When you buy a phone, enter the code, and you'll get a discount. And the link to TechDias will be in the description. So let's unbox this beauty today. This is a top-tier flagship, probably the coolest Chinese flagship out there. Right now it has two telephoto lenses, one of which is a 10x zoom. You can't find that anywhere else right now. Samsung used to have that in their Galaxy Ultra, but then they changed it. They backed down and made the second telephoto lens a 5x. Can you imagine? Samsung had a 10x telephoto lens, but then they swapped it for a 5x, so they downgraded. While Oppo actually increased theirs this year. They made two telephoto lenses, not one, but two. Can you believe that even Xiaomi has gone backward? They only included one telephoto lens this year, even though they had two before. TechDias Find X9 Ultra Hasselblad. Such a giant box. This is the Chinese version. There's no penny pinching here, unlike with Samsung. Now I'll show you an example of Samsung packaging and the Apple packaging. These are the contents of the box. They are like two boxes in one, and they are thin. There's only the phone and a charging cable inside. Now let's see what comes with the Oppo. Let's unbox it. There's a special tab here that you pull, and then, oh my goodness. And you just tear the packaging open like this. I want to get to the phone as quickly as possible. Faster, faster. I want to see this Find X9 Ultra right now. And what is it? A little letter. A letter from the Chinese team. I don't know, guys. I need to translate what's written here. All right, so let's find out what it says. Distance awaits. The world unfolds. You choose the direction. You measure the distance. It's time to lift the camera. Go. And hand in hand with Hasselblad. Inspiration. Well, basically, there are some inspirational things written here. Mostly about the camera, as I understand it. Go explore the world, take photos, and enjoy a cool camera. Hasselblad. Okay, let's open it. Wow. Holy cow. Look at how luxurious this device is in black. It's eco leather, a metal frame, an orange camera button, 4 awesome cameras, and a flash. What do we have here? Microphone, speaker. Oh my, programmable button. And there's a silent mode. Flashlight, this is the action button. Like the screen protector is already installed. Wasn't it beautiful? Just beautiful. 100-watt charger, Chinese super via OC, but you can get an adapter. This is a USB Type-C cable. This is a SIM ejector. It takes two SIM cards. For two SIM cards, the SIM tray's at the bottom. By the way, the phone's a bit heavy and thick because it has a large battery. SIM 1, SIM 2. At the bottom, there's the charging port, speaker, and microphone. Now I need to set it up. And there is more in the envelope included. In the envelope. The case is included in the set. The case is an unusual color. You know, the color, I don't know how to describe it. It's like the color of spring road slush, a sort of grayish, greenish, swampy, interesting color. I haven't seen cases like this before. And it sort of mimics the phone's texture, meaning the logo. This split into two parts like eco leather. The color's nice and it protects the camera with these edges. Special, see? Protects the camera module. The disc at the top. The disc here is huge. And this, as I understand, is a microphone. Looks like there's an opening for the microphone here. There. Well, it looks cool. Very stylish, very pretty, but it's really heavy, you know, as if it were made of some kind of heavy cast iron. That's the impression you get from it. I've gotten used to it. Lately, budget phones have been coming through. Budget. And my hands have already gotten used to budget phones. They are really all plastic and lightweight, but here the shape, size, and weight make it feel like it's actually made of cast iron. It feels quite unusual to hold it after using budget devices. And it doesn't have very rounded corners. I'll mark that as a negative because the trend now is for rounded corners, and here the edges are quite straight. Because of that, it feels like a brick in the hand thanks to its weight, the straight edges, and the protruding disc. By the way, the disc protrudes, but it seems even less than on the X100 Ultra, X200 Ultra, or X200 Ultra. Well, the serrations here are powerful, really, really powerful. You could even file your nails on these serrations, yeah? It's like a nail file. File? Alright, enough messing around. Let's get started. Well, they used to put an X here, like a logo, but now they just put the logo right here. It's not on the camera itself. I think it's a missed opportunity because a letter here in the center would have looked good. Cool. Vivo, for example, has the Zeiss logo here. You look at the ring, and it looks a bit empty because there's unused space inside. You know, they could have put a fifth camera in there. That would have been super, right? There it is, the fifth camera. It's a color sensor, I think. The Vivo X100 Ultra has the same one. But they could have put a fifth camera or some logo there. The flash here is also raised. Look, a tiny little ring for the flash. Alright, that's it. I'm clearing all the extras and starting to set up the phone. I've set up the phone, downloaded the Play Store, installed Google services and the keyboard, so it's a normal phone now. Like a regular phone, not a Chinese one. I deleted all the Chinese apps. This button here is customizable. They basically took it straight from the iPhone. Of course, you can set it to silent mode, do not disturb, open the camera, flashlight, voice recorder, or any other app you want. This button here, it's customizable, just like on the iPhone. This button is for the camera, of course. You just double click it and it opens the camera. Also very convenient. And when you open the camera, you can use this button to zoom and take photos. It's a complete copy of the iPhone, exactly the same as on the iPhone 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max, and the iPhones that came out before. The diagonal size is 6.8 inches. The thickness of this phone is 8.7 millimeters and it weighs 235 grams. That's exactly why I said it's quite heavy. It really is heavy, 35 grams. You can really feel it. And that's without a case. With a case, it's even more. Gorilla Glass Victus, second generation. The glass is very durable. Aluminum frame. On the back, we have eco leather, but there are also glass versions available in other colors. Unlocking via face or the scanner built into the screen. It's an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Very fast, works instantly. The phone itself runs on ColorOS. By the way, all of Oppo's subsidiaries, OnePlus and Realme, will also be switching to this same ColorOS skin in. Everyone will run on ColorOS. For optimization, they decided not to spread themselves thin across 3 different firmwares, but just make one ColorOS. And it's version 16 here on Android 16. It's very convenient that you can check the phone's specifications right here. This is a 7000 battery, 7050 among flagships. That's a good figure. It is, of course, the top tier Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor, the most powerful one right now. There is a feature to expand RAM by 12 gigabytes. You can, in principle, turn off this feature if you don't need it. Here you can see everything about the cameras, all the information on how this camera was developed, what it offers, and its resolution. An improved central processor, right? Central ADC, central processor. Next, performance. 100W charging and 50W wireless. 100W is wired Super Vs and 50W is wireless Air VOC. The display is 620. While the screen resolution is not simple either, the resolution here is increased. 3168 by 510 pixels per inch. This gives us Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and as I said, 3600 is the peak brightness. A good, bright, vivid screen. In the settings, you can tweak many things to your liking. Turn on dark theme, light theme, and auto adjustment. There is an eye protection mode, and the color palette can be adjusted to set more saturated or more muted colors. Screen resolution is also adjustable from low to high or automatic selection. The refresh rate is also adjustable. The maximum, by the way, is 144 Hz. Not 120, but 144 Hz. An increased refresh rate. Well, and in general, those are the settings. The screen is big, it's comfortable to watch movies and scroll through the feed. But as for the camera, when holding the phone, the camera rests against your finger, just like on Vivo phones, acting as a kind of finger support. The phone is secured additionally. And overall, you get used to this size and its shape in a day or two. There is an always-on display you can turn it on, but I won't, as I'm not a big fan of always-on display. I set some lighter wallpapers to see the bezels better. The bezels here are the same on all sides, and they are average. Well, you can't say they are large or super duper thin. No, they are standard bezels for a 2026 flagship. By the way, a small interesting test. Will the phone hang on its camera on its module? Let's see. I'm letting go. Yes, it hangs on the camera. It passed this test. Well, this is not surprising because the module protrudes quite significantly. So Snap 8 Elite Gen 5 is the most powerful processor from Qualcomm at the moment. Everyone chooses it for their flagships, 3nm process technology, but in any case for the Ultra. For Pro versions, some still use MediaTek. In the same Oppo X9 Pro, there is a MediaTek 9500, but for the Ultra, they chose Snapdragon specifically. Vivo did it, Samsung did it, and Xiaomi did it too. All of them have started using the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 across the board. 8 cores, 3nm, modern architecture, 5G, naturally, and the Adreno 840 GPU. I tested it, and I can tell you the benchmark results, but first I turned on high performance mode, went into the battery settings, enabled high performance, and went for it. Well, I am very pleased with the results. I didn't expect it, but it scored very high. I downloaded the latest Antutu. It looked 409,000. I have never seen anything like this. This is one of the most powerful phones in the world. Imagine that, it's just insane. 4 million in Antutu. How long will it actually last? Fine. How long this performance will last and how excessive it is here. At the same time, it heated up to 45.5 degrees. And when I picked it up, it was actually unpleasant because the metal frame was really hot and it was literally burning my hand. It was uncomfortable. I set it aside, and after the Antutu test, it sat there cooling down for another 10-15 minutes. And only then did I run the next test, Geekbench, and then the throttling test. But in Antutu, it goes all out, 4,109,000. For example, I have the Samsung S26 Ultra, which I'm filming with right now. It has a special for Galaxy version of this processor, supposedly even more overclocked and cooler, but it scores less in Antutu than this phone. Moving on. The next benchmark is the throttling test. And here I tested it in normal mode, not performance mode, because, well, I set it to the base mode, and it doesn't throttle. It throttled by almost no more than 20%. That surprised me too. So in the standard base mode, it doesn't really throttle like a budget phone. The graph is completely green, handles throttling. Well, apparently the cooling is quite good too. Well, in general, it's totally fine. Next, memory speed. We have the base 256GB version. Obviously, if I had gotten the 512GB or 1TB version, the memory speed would be even higher. Here, as the base model, UFS 4.1 speed is about 1700 for reading and 1000 for writing. Geekbench has finally broken through on this phone. Oh, multi-core performance across all cores is over 10,000. Single core is 3500. Multi-core is 10,700. NFC is, of course, present here. And for multi-touch, it would be a surprise if it were limited to 5 points, but no, it's definitely 10 points here. So everything here is top tier, state-of-the-art, high-end, and flagship. So regarding performance, by buying this phone, you can forget about upgrading for 5 or 6 years. Everything will run, everything will work, everything will open just fine. And of course, this phone is perfect for gaming. Maximum graphics, top tier frame rate, ultra HDR for all games. There's plenty of storage and enough RAM for gaming. Well, gaming. The stereo sound from the 2 speakers is loud and provides an immersive, high-quality audio experience. So gamers will be satisfied? Of course, gamers will be satisfied. Everything is running as it should. Everything is running as it should. The PlayStation 6, which hasn't even been released yet. I wonder, will they be able to port GTA 6 here, and would the power be enough if needed? Why not for GTA 6, actually? But then again, who knows? In principle, as I understand it, GTA 6 will even run on the PS4. Or will it? Guys, by the way, let me know. Will GTA 6 be on the PS6? On the PS4, or only on the PS5 and PS6? Well, now let's talk about the cameras. This is what many people will buy this phone for. Well, performance is clear enough. There are many phones with this processor. You could get something cheaper, like an iQOO 15, or a OnePlus 15, or a Poco F7 Ultra Well, an F8 Ultra, to be precise. But not every phone has cameras like these. You could even say no one else has such a cool set of cameras. The main sensor here is 200 megapixels. It's the Sony LYT-901, the same camera as the Vivo X300 Ultra. These are the two main competitors in China right now. Vivo is for camera lovers and the Oppo Find X9 Ultra. But the Vivo uses a 35mm base lens. That means it will always have about 1.5x zoom. That's how the Vivo will always take photos. But here's 23mm, just 1x. This is more familiar and a more standard focal length. Practically every phone comes with this default focal length. This is 200 megapixels. Also 200 megapixels. There's a periscope camera with 3x zoom. Another 200 megapixels with a sensor size of 1.4. That's a very large, substantial sensor. That's already good. A 50 megapixel telephoto lens with a smaller 1/2 sensor, but it has 10x zoom, so there are two telephoto lenses. Here it is, 10x. 10x, guys, 230 millimeters, that's the optical zoom, 10x, and a 50 megapixel ultra-wide lens. A sensor size of 1.95, which is almost 1/2. Many use this sensor as their main one, like the Sony LYT-600, so it's a good module. And here it's used for the ultra-wide. 122-degree field of view and an f2.0 aperture. The main one, by the way, has an f1.5 aperture. That is also very good. Takes great photos at night. The front camera is 50 megapixels with a 1/2.75 sensor and autofocus. Right, so let me show you some examples. This is 120x zoom. It definitely adds detail. So when you take a photo at 120x, that's the maximum zoom. You take a photo and then it thinks for a while. For example, I'll do it right now. I don't know. Let me try to take a photo. Look, 1. And now it will touch it up and make it sharper thanks to artificial intelligence. So I took a few photos, and this is from earlier in the day, or rather the evening. This photo here is at almost 100x. Look at the bricks here. Well, the neural network definitely helped. What can I say? Look at this, how bright, juicy, and saturated it is. I took this at 10x. I just switched to 10x. Let me see how it photographed. And I was shooting in the highest resolution because you can set it to 200 megapixels or 50 megapixels. Even some birds flying by got into the frame. Well, it looks really juicy and really cool. I didn't use 200, or rather 50 megapixels. I could have made it even sharper. This is the wide angle. Look at what a cool wide angle it is too. 50 megapixels. Okay, this is the main one. And there was about 3x as well. Oh no, this is 3x and this is 10x it seems. Yes. What exactly am I saying? I like the wide angle lens. So wide here, and the sky turned out great. Let me try to take a photo at night now. Okay, the night mode should activate automatically here. Yes, it activates automatically, but it should be buried somewhere in here. To turn on maximum quality, you need to go to more. Okay, it should be in here somewhere. No. Wait, where is the resolution? Hidden. Snapshot. Soft, sports, macro, timer. Okay, turn off the watermark. If I want 200 megapixels, how do I set it? High resolution mode. Alright, I get 50. No, I want more. Why doesn't it let me do 200 in high res? Anyway, I found the night mode. Why isn't 200 megapixels available here? Why is it 50? Oh, here's 200. That's it, I found the switch. 200 megapixels. I'm looking at myself in 200 megapixels now to see the skin details. Everything, how it will look. Done. And 200 megapixels as well. The 3x telephoto. And the other cameras are 50. Done. Look guys at how the 3x photo looks. It will process it in 200 megapixels now. One of the largest telephoto lenses. Look how long it's spinning. There, finally. So this is the kind of quality. This is a real photo, as if it were taken on a dedicated camera. A really cool phone in terms of photo quality. Absolutely everything is visible. Actually, everything is visible perfectly. This is the telephoto lens. This is the 200 megapixel main lens. Also, a very large sensor. All the fine details on the skin can be seen. Well, this is just incredible. Simply a camera. Honestly, to give you an idea, this photo is 62 megabytes and this one from the telephoto is 38. Just imagine 62 megabytes for a single photo. Some apps take up that much space, but here's just one photo. Yes, guys, I haven't seen this kind of detail in a long time. Really, even after the Vivo X100 Ultra, this is impressive. Plus, this phone didn't just come out yesterday. It has already received several major updates. Ooh. And now let's check out the night mode. Okay, and here's the main lens again. This is the ultra wide, a bit darker than the main one. This is the 3x telephoto lens. This is the 10x telephoto lens. Look, it's already a bit blurrier than during the day, but overall, it's still not bad. Anyway, I'll test this camera separately and compare it with other flagships later. The front camera is also at a high level and takes wonderful photos. So no matter which camera you touch, everything is excellent. So the front camera can do 4K 60 FPS. The rear camera can do 4K 120 FPS for slow motion video. Also 4K 60 and 8K 30. And by the way, if we are shooting in 4K 60, switching between all modules is available. The maximum zoom is 30x while recording video. The switching, by the way, is quite smooth. Only the transition from the main to the first telephoto is not that great. And the colors even seem to be different. There. In short, the camera is top tier, world class, one of the best cameras in the world right now. What can I say? The most expensive part of this phone is probably the camera setup. What do you get? It's a camera, a real camera. Everything is also excellent regarding the battery. 7,000 battery. The phone discharges slowly. I currently have several operating modes under test. Is it possible to see how much your battery is depleted, meaning how worn the battery is? Yes, you can. It shows the maximum capacity, but it doesn't show charge cycles. How many charge cycles you've done, for example. It just shows the remaining capacity at 100% at the moment. Well, if you charge it carefully, don't overheat the phone, use original chargers and not always fast ones. I think on average I lose 2% a year on my Vivo. I think here it will also lose about 2 to 5% per year. So there will be wear, but within normal limits. And let's not forget, 100W and 50W means you have a choice in charging, wired, wireless. Wireless is half as strong, but 50W is actually more powerful than the Samsung S26 Ultra's wired charging. So the wireless here is even more powerful than Samsung's wired charging. I'll start turning the volume up a little bit. Let's listen to the sound. This is just about the minimum level. The stereo is already becoming clearly audible. This is exactly the middle. Stereo is distinctly noticeable. You can tell sound is coming from the top speaker too. Turning it up further, it already sounds pretty good. It's loud now. Oh, this is super loud. Listen, it actually feels like it sounds better than the Vivo X300 Ultra. Although they did improve the sound there, unlike the X200 Ultra, X100 Ultra, and X200 Pro. The X300 Ultra sound got better, but this one seems even louder. Very good, high quality sound. So what conclusion can we draw? This is one of the coolest flagships I've tested, one of the most advanced. It has absolutely everything you need. It has a stunning design. It has great cameras, 4 cameras. It has a unique design, a good UI. There's a global version and a Chinese one, and it has buttons that weren't cut. Unlike Vivo, a cool phone, really very cool. It provides a fun experience. Flat screen. I like that there are no curves. Well, practically all flagships are like that now. So Oppo released a real gem this year, a real absolute gem. Plus the battery is large, bigger than Vivo's, Samsung's, iPhones, all of them put together. So I believe this is currently the most advanced flagship, of course. But I bought a Vivo. I sort of rushed to buy the Vivo because I like Origin. Color here is also a good UI, but for now, the Origin UI is closer to me. Although color is also a pleasant UI, actually. So that's the phone, by the way. Let's check out the flash. Yep, flashlight. It's adjustable in brightness, just like on the Vivo. You can make it brighter or dimmer. Well, and it's also adjustable on the iPhone. That's the top tier device we ended up with. Good luck to everyone. See you soon, and goodbye.